In the 6th version, the Super Boom capsule completely revamped the way runners are experiencing the Feidian Elite, and people are raving about it. It's soft, it's bouncy. But still, if you are a lover of soft and bouncy, you cannot deny that the Plaid 1.5 remains one of the best racers from China in that regard. In this video, I am pitting these two shoes head to head to help runners understand them better and make informed choices.
You were out there before the sun rises, old sneakers on, dreams in your stride. Breathing deep, just taking it slow. Rain or shine, you still show. Maybe it ain't fast, maybe it ain't loud, but you're moving forward and that's what counts.
I took a lot of flack from my full performance of the Feidian 6 Elite. Some people felt I was a killjoy, like a wet blanket, someone pouring cold water on their excitement, simply because I didn't toe the line of several other reviewers. But here's the deal. I am here to share my honest experiences only. I don't have any sponsorships, I've never gotten any free shoe, so I have no reason to sugarcoat my experiences. I have real people watching, looking for authentic reviews, and that is my priority. But it got me thinking though, did I get these shoes wrong? So today, I took them on a longer run, 20 kilometers in total, 10 kilometers in each shoe, to reassess them. I do not have all the technical stuff from a running lab, but I'm able to assess things like comfort, ease of running, perceived effort, foot fatigue, in addition to pace. So that's how I'll be comparing these two shoes today. I am just a casual runner. I do not presume to review shoes for elite athletes. So if you are an elite athlete, you might as well skip this video. I review running shoes for hobby joggers like myself. And if we are being real, we form more than 90% of runners out there and buy majority of these elite racers too. So let's get down to business. Starting from the upper, both shoes have a mesh upper, soft and comfortable, super breathable. Jacquard weave in both shoes, softer in the Li-Ning. They both have booty-style constructions where you just slid your foot into the shoe through a hole. You will find similar amount of paddings in the heel area of both shoes, and they do a great job in helping these shoes get very nice lockdown. Nice toe box room in both shoes too. However, it is wider in the Flame 1.5, but the height is higher in the Feidian 6 Elite. So if you have wider feet, you will fit better in the Plaid 1.5. But if you have thicker feet, higher instep, then the Feidian 6 Elite might be a better fit. The platform is wider in the Plaid 1.5, both in the heel area and in the forefoot. Both shoes fit true to size. Great lockdown in both shoes with a nice sock-like fit, but better in the Plaid 1.5. Better arch support in the Feidian 6 Elite though, but wider, more assured foot plant in the Plaid 1.5. Because it's wider, it feels flatter, more solid on the ground. The insole is removable in the Feidian 6, very soft, very light. In the Plaid 1.5, it is gummed to the midsole. The midsole material in the Qiaodan Plaid 1.5 is the TPEE-based Kung Fu Pro. Very soft, bouncy, and durable. The Li-Ning, on the other hand, features their all-new Super Boom capsule. Atop a more traditional Super Boom layer closer to the ground. The carbon plate is embedded between the two layers of foam. The Super Boom is P-Bax foam, a thermoplastic elastomer. The stack height of the Plaid 1.5 is 37 mm in the heel, 30 in the forefoot, a 7 mm heel-to-toe drop. There's no official record of the stack height of these shoes from the Li-Ning website. However, a lot of people are quoting 39.5 to 40 mm in the heel with a 6 mm heel-to-toe drop. When you stand on these two shoes, the Li-Ning is noticeably higher. The midsole of both shoes feel very soft. I think they are pretty close. It's difficult to separate them, but if we are splitting hairs, I think the Li-Ning is softer. And then when you look at the rocker also, you notice that the Li-Ning has a more aggressive rocker. So the transition in this is super smooth. It's got some rocker here also, but not as steep as what you have in the Feidian 6 Elite. And when you run, you also feel it. This one feels kind of flatter on the ground. Of course, both shoes have their carbon plates exposed through different shapes of cutout from where you can view the carbon plates in each shoe. On the scale, they weigh 234 grams and 238 grams in men's US size 11. So the Plaid 1.5 is 4 grams heavier than the Feidian 6 Elite. Now, let's talk running. I'm putting significant miles in both shoes. This one is still at about 87 kilometers, while this one is at around 40-45 kilometers. For this review, I did a 20-kilometer run, 10 kilometers in the Feidian 6 Elite, 10 kilometers in the Plaid 1.5 in 5-kilometer rotations. Both shoes offer great cushion. I do not think that anyone will complain of the cushion in any of these shoes. They offered maximal protection even when I was landing on my heels. However, the higher stack of the Feidian 6 Elite means a lot more foam to play around with. Plus, its insole is also softer, so it gave the Feidian 6 Elite an overall softer underfoot feel. Now, talking about the rebound, the response. Both shoes are quite responsive, but I felt better rebound, more whip from the Plaid 1.5. This translated to the pace and ease of running. Once again, for each rotation, I consistently ran faster in the Plaid 1.5. My perceived effort was also less each time I ran in the Plaid 1.5 compared to the Feidian 6 Elite. These were the easier shoes to run in. Despite being 4 grams heavier than this, they felt lighter on the feet, and that is due to their better response. Felt easier to bounce along in this than in this one. It was hard for me to maintain sub 5 km pace in the Feidian 6 Elite, while I easily cruised that consistently in the Plaid 1.5. When I intentionally ran 4-foot striking though, the rebound in both shoes were pretty close. Probably natural 4-foot strikers may experience this shoe better than I did. This was superb whether I was landing on my heel, midfoot or forefoot. Going on to stability, that is where the Plaid 1.5 sets itself apart the more. The Feidian 6 Elite is wobbly from side to side, while the 1.5 gives a better, surer footing. The Plaid 1.5 is wider in the heel area and even more so in the forefoot, by up to half an inch. Also, there's a more prominent midsole flare in the forefoot of the Plaid 1.5, also helps to keep the feet well planted on the ground. All combined to make these shoes much more stable than the Feidian 6 Elite. My legs felt more relaxed in the Plaid 1.5, but I got earlier foot fatigue running in the Feidian 6 Elite. In terms of durability, well, I have run over 300 kilometers in the Plaid 1, which is an almost identical shoe to the Plaid 1.5. This one is still at 87 kilometers, and if you look at the outsole, it's still pretty much intact. No scratch on any part of the shoe as yet. So I still expect similar durability in this like I got in the Plaid 1. As for the Feidian 6 Elite, this one is at around 40-45 kilometers, and if you look at the outsole also, it doesn't even look like this has been matched on the ground. So pretty good sign in this one also. The grip from the both outsole were very good. Even today when I ran, there was a little drizzle and many areas were wet, the grip was still pretty cool. So now talking about price, well, the Feidian 6 Elite is still recently launched, so the price is still high up there. This is listed for $222 on AliExpress. On the other hand, the Plaid 1.5 has been in the market for going to 2 years now. The price is significantly lower. This one is now listed at around $175. It is about $47 cheaper than the Feidian 6 Elite. So, to summarize the performance that I've experienced in these shoes, I will say that the Feidian 6 Elite offers more cushion and arch support, whereas the Plaid 1.5 is faster, more stable, and better suited to my running style and pace. Plus, it is much cheaper also, $47 less. But there's another distinct advantage of the Feidian 6 Elite. It is more comfortable to wear and walk around. I don't think I've ever used this shoe as casual wear. Anytime I lace this one up, I'm heading for a serious run. Immediately I come back, I remove it. But this one, most times I find myself wearing this shoe, walking around for the rest of the day. It feels very comfortable and nice just to wear and walk around. Plus, this looks better. But again, who wants to buy an Elite racer for casual use? You never know. I think that's it for my experience for these two shoes, guys. I hope you've been able to pick up, one or two from here. This is my honest opinion. You can make of them whatever you will. And please check out my new book, Running After 40. For those of us who are 40 and above, a lot of things have changed our bodies, and the way we used to do things may not work out the same way right now. So just check out the book. It's got a lot of tips that will be useful for guys after 40. It's not just for running, just for you to be better, live stronger and healthier into your 80s, 90s, strong. Once again, I thank you guys for watching. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do well to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then let me see you in the next video.